The rumors are true. Feel the cool breeze, the cool blast of ice breath. Playmates, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire Giant Shimo is in stores, baby, in Target. And yeah, I had a feeling he was going to be there today, so I took a trip over there. I watched some reviews of people saying that he's starting to appear in stores, and he is. So, and this is probably the last of the Playmates that I'm going to be getting, unless they put out a wave 2. I think they are, but this, as far as the two battle sets, Kong and Scar King and Godzilla and Shimo with the background, I haven't seen those in any stores near me the entire time. So I was definitely waiting for this guy for a while. I knew they would carry him. So hopefully, we'll get a second wave, maybe a battle roar. Shimo, who knows? I don't know what they're putting out for the second wave, but Target is weird. Of course, the box is the same as usual. The color scheme from Godzilla X Kong with the pinks and blues and purples. So I'm excited to get this guy out. Talk about him. I'll compare him to the other giant figures that I have. And we'll compare him to the 6-inch, which a lot of people say he scales pretty well with. So we'll see how he looks with the 6-inch figures. Because Shimo is big, you know what I mean? So, in the film. I can understand them having to make him part of the 6-inch toys, but the 6-inch Shimo doesn't scale well with the other 6-inch figures compared to how the size of the scaling in the movie. So, but I'm excited to get this guy, and we'll see what's up with a wave 2 of Godzilla X Kong toys for Playmates and what they have planned for that. But I'm happy to have this, so let's get him out of the box. So, okay, this is just to take a look at the back of the box here. It's got the normal Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire write-up. There's no write-up on Shimo. But I love the way they do Shimo's name. Very similar to Scar King. Really cool, very metal. I love that. That looks dope. It looks like a thrash metal band's logo. Very cool. And so, yeah, here we are. This is Giant Shimo from Playmates. And it's a cool figure, it's basically in the vein of the 6-inch Shimo. It's got some pretty decent articulation for this type of figure. Of course, you have the tail on the ball joint, so that moves around quite a bit. You have legs, and I believe the feet. I haven't moved the bottom of the feet yet, but I believe they swivel. The arms move all the way around and in and out, which is cool. And the mouth opens and closes. The head is on a ball joint as well, so that goes up and down and basically around side to side. So that's pretty cool, It's a decent amount of articulation. You could do a few things with it anyway. Same as the 6-inch Shimo. He does have some nice detail on his face. His teeth are fairly well done. I kind of like the way... It was the same for the 6-inch too. The teeth are okay on the Shimo. I like that. The eyes are, you can see here, a nice ice blue. Painted a nice ice blue. Of course, this figure has screw holes on it. Whatever. I'm not going to hate that. Would have been nicer if they weren't there, but I get it. This is the giant one, so, it's neither here nor there for me. I still like the look of the figure, so we don't have to really care about that. I guess if you're good at customizing figures, I'm sure you could probably patch those up and paint them. But if you so chose. But yeah, you know, so this is a giant Shimo. This is it was $25 at Target. So that's what you're looking at, which is not bad for a figure of this size. Let's measure him. You see here, he's standing about 8 inches to the highest dorsal plate, about 7 to his head. So he's a fairly big boy. We could see that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you certain things about him. I'll pose him a couple of times and we'll get into it. All right, so here's a head-on shot of him. And he looks a little better head-on, this guy, the giant one, than the 6-inch does. Like I said, I'm digging the way they painted and did the teeth, or at least the bottom teeth, which are painted a nice bone color. They didn't really do the same for the top teeth. And then they just painted the tongue and nothing else. So, and this one's mouth doesn't open as wide as the 6-inch, which is kind of cool. But, you know, the inside of the mouth is just nothing there. It's just null and void. It's a bottom teeth and a tongue. You know, it would have been nice if they could have given us more detail on the inside of the mouth, because Shimo himself has some nice detail, like right here on the top of his head, on the side of his head and neck. He's got good detail on his arms and feet, you know, and on the nooks and crannies and scales on his sides, on his legs. Very, very nice detail all the way down his whole entire tail, all the way up to the thagomizer at the bottom of it. Excellent, you know what I mean, as far as like detail on his skin. But yeah, and I think that the eyes, the ice blue eyes, are pretty cool too. You know what I mean? Like, your drawbacks are here the pure white color, which they could have probably dry brushed this to make the paint job look better. That would be a gripe. The screws are a gripe, so that's 2. And the paint job on the inside of the mouth is a gripe, 3. The 4th gripe would probably be his dorsal plates, which were kind of an ice blue and white. Maybe they showed a little bit of a purple tinge once, if I remember correctly, like when they were leaving the hollow earth, and you know, for a brief second in the movie. But, you know, in the movie, they were not purple like this the entire time. So, but that's fine. This is a stylized approach. Purple works. You know, just as on the 6-inch figures, the crystals on the back of his head and on his back, going all the way down, are very, very nicely done, translucent, and look cool, you know. So I'm not going to hate on them because they look great, even if they happen to be slightly the wrong color. You could even see the ones on the back of his neck here are really nice. And then I just love the paint job on the tail. It's just beautiful. Goes all the way down. It's a nice shade of purple to match. It looks really good. You know, the crystals look pretty damn good. I'm not going to hate on them. They look all right. So, you know, that's what we have here. I think I like the giant Shimo a little bit better than the 6-inch here. I don't know. That's just the first impression that I get. And I'm interested to see what the Battle Roar Shimo is going to look like when they drop that. But let's pose him. Okay, of course you could get him in a nice walking or running pose, which is cool. You could bring the tail up off the ground there. I started with it lower. I'm going to just show you how it moves around. That tail's on a nice ball joint. So the tail looks great. You know, highlight of this figure for sure is the tail and the paint job that continues all the way down to the tail. Very nice, Playmates. you know. Playmates for the win on these cheap figures that are somewhat decent. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. So, good job. That looks great. And you can't get him into some cool poses like he's walking like this. So, let's see what else. Yeah, so the feet do turn, which is nice because you could basically pose him like he's looking down. That's how the head moves, looks to the side here. And you get him to look like he's switching positions and turning one way because the feet turn nicely. Tail is so nice, you know. And that just looks good. You could put him... This guy has decent articulation. I love that the arms move out a little bit because that allows you to do a little more when you're posing him. Now this is pretty cool too. It's like because his arms go out so far, you could get him in some real cool action type of poses like this. This definitely has a better articulation than the 6-inch. So, but that's really nice. You just balance him correctly. You see how far out his arms go. You could really, you know, and the feet work great to balance it if you put them in the right position. Yeah, I love Shimo. Kongs. Yeah, good Shimo, good Shimo. Yeah. Shimo was a cool, not a villain, but Shimo was basically Scar King's slave. But she played such a cool role in the movie. Cool Titan, who is now on Kong's side. She's basically Kong's dog. Kong's ice dog. Ice breath dog. Pet. But a pretty serious pet. But this is a cool figure, man. $25 and it's pretty nice. I think you're getting your money's worth here. Does it have its flaws? Yeah. But who cares? Every figure has their flaws. You're talking about weighing the good versus the price. Do you understand that's what collecting is? When you get a good figure for a reasonable price? You know, that's why people collect these Playmates. They were selling this figure, like, I just paid $25 for it. This figure's, like, for sale on Mercari and Amazon and eBay for, like, $100. You know what I'm saying? You could triple and quadruple your money on a $25 Playmates if you so choose. There's a buyer out there. There's a, you know, a seller out there for every sucker, basically, and a buyer for every figure. But, you know, of course, I wasn't ordering this online and paying $100 for it. That's just insane. You know, the half of the cool part about these Playmates toys is walking into the store and getting them for the good prices. So let's see what else you can do. Of course, you can make him stand on his hind legs, and it looks even better once again as these arms can come out. I just put the ice blast from the 6-inch in his mouth just for this pose. He does not come with an ice breath effect, but yeah, this thing's got some nice posability. You know, I'll just take that out so you can see. Yeah, you know, you can put him in some interesting shots. See that right there? That's pretty dope. And here's a front view of him standing on his hind legs. Just show you the detail. There is detail all the way on the underside of his chest here. And the scales on the legs. It's really nice. This figure does have detail, even though it's pure white. Even to underneath his mouth and neck. Which is kind of cool. I like this figure. This is definitely nice. This definitely beats the 6-inch. This is a cool Shimo figure. So yeah, head, you could get him to look pretty much all the way down, which is cool. The tail, you could bring it all the way up, make it look like that. You know, it's got decent posability and decent articulation. I like it. You could do some cool things with them. Pretty dope. All right, now let's get to comparing them. All right, so these are my 3 Shimo figures currently. I don't have anyone else. I don't know if there are. Well, yeah, there's a couple other small ones, a metal one, the keychain and whatnot. But these are the 3 I own so far. This is the giant one. This is the 6-inch. Which the arms also move out on the 6-inch too. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, or I said they didn't, but they do. And then this, of course, is the Funko Pop movie series Shimo, which is a pretty cool detailed figure in its own right. So you can see the size difference here. This guy is a much bigger boy than the 6-inch. And you can see the 6-inch tail compared to that one. This giant Shimo's tail is painted much nicer. Even though that's cool too, but this tail is just hitting on all cylinders. So there we go. These are my 3 Shimos. Very cool. So yeah, the 6-inch Scar King actually scales quite nicely with the giant Shimo. That looks to be about right. And it's cool that you can put them, have them stand on them like that, you know? That looks fantastic. Yeah. So you can see all of that. So it does scale well. I don't know if it's going to scale. It probably scales well with Scar King and Kong, but not Godzilla. So, you know, maybe the Battle Roar Godzilla would scale better. We'll see. Let's take a look. Yeah, so you could almost recreate the scene. That's great. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Playmates Toys, man. Look at that, bro. Playmates Toys are excellent. I do think that, you know, Kong scales pretty well with them. I think Godzilla would probably have to be a little bit bigger. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try it with I'm going to try to save shot with that looks awesome. With the Battle Roar Godzilla, and we'll see how it looks. So, okay, yeah, awesome. That's what it is. It's the Battle Roar Godzilla with the 6-inch Scar King and Kong and the giant Shimo. That's the correct scaling pretty much for the movie. That looks about right. Awesome. Look at that, man. Go Playmates. Go Playmates. I love how you can recreate that scene. Awesome, man. Yeah, so, yeah, I think that's it. 6-inch Scar King looks nice, riding on top of Shimo, and the 6-inch Kong looks about right for giant Shimo. The only thing is you got to get Battle Roar Godzilla into the picture to scale better than the 6-inch with Shimo. And that's it. Looks amazing. And, of course, the triumphant end of the movie, Freedom for the Apes, baby. You know? So cool that you can pose these like the shots in the movie, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Love it. And you could have Kong petting Shimo under his chin. Coochie, 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 bro. Great, man. I can't take it. All right, and this is how he basically scales with the other giant figures, with the Kong, giant Godzilla, and giant Scar King. So, you know, his scaling here doesn't work, just like the 6-inch Shimo doesn't work with the other 6-inch figures. So, you know, giant Shimo belongs with giant 6-inch Scar King and Kong and Battle Roar Godzilla. That's the bottom line if you're looking for accurate scaling from the movie. But still, it's nice to have all 4 giant figures. Wonder if they'll do a giant Suko. But very cool. All right, so there we have it, folks. Giant Shimo. I certainly recommend this figure. Don't pay $100 for it online unless you really just, you know, you can't get it wherever you live. But if you can, be patient and wait to go into Target and spend the $25 instead of giving some thief on Mercari $100 and some bucks for it. Hey, man, they're entitled to sell it if there's people that are willing to buy it. But, yeah. So that's the bottom line. If you like this, go out and get you some Shimo, baby. And I'll be back with a new review sooner than later. I got a few figures coming, so I'll see you again soon, fellas. Peace.